Hello and welcome to the Store Champs videos from Playoteket in Malmö. And I'm Michael Dennis. I'm recording the audio commentary for this series of videos on Christopher Bankson's YouTube channel. So this is game one of the day, and you've got Tommy Mueller playing Jan Joel. I apologize if I'm screwing up your names there, guys. My Swedish accent leaves a lot to be desired. So it is a scum-on-scum game, which is great to see. Tommy's flying a 4-ship build with Andrew Suhlak. That's the unique Z95 pilot. He's a PS7, and his pilot ability is that when he's attacking, if he's outside of range 2 of his opponents, then he gets to roll an extra attack die. And he can be paired up with the EPT Lone Wolf, which is what I believe Tommy's got on him, which means that if he's outside range 1 to 2 of his friendly ships, then he can also re-roll one die on attack or defense. One blank die. That's important, not a focus result. And Tommy's paired him up with 2 Black Sun Aces, which are the PS5 Kirax fighters. That's what I'm going to call them. I'm committing to Kirax. And they've got an EPT, so he's put Crackshot on them, which can cancel one of your opponent's evade results. And they've also got Inertial Dampeners, which when you reveal your maneuver dial, you can discard to do a white assault maneuver, and then you receive a stress token. And he's got them paired up, flying there in the bottom right with Palob Godalhi. He's running Predator, Twin Laser Turret, and Tactician. So Palob, his pilot ability is he can steal a focus or evade token from an enemy ship at range 1 to 2. And the Twin Laser Turret allows him to attack twice in any direction. Predator allows him to reroll 1 dice per attack, and the Tactician allows him to put a stress on an opponent for each attack if the opponent's at range 2 and in arc. So Tommy's going to have to really work hard to leverage the Tactician attack. But if he does manage and he attacks with the Twin Laser Turret, he can put 2 stress tokens on his opponent in a single round. Jan Joel, on the other hand, has 2 Scum Aces flying big ships there. He's got Boba Fett flying a fire spray, and he's got Push the Limit, which means he can take 2 actions. K4 Security Droid, which allows him to acquire a target lock when he does a green maneuver. Glitterstim, which he can discard at the beginning of the combat phase, and all his focus results become hits or evades for that round. And he also receives a stress. An engine upgrade, which gives him the boost action. And he's paired with IG-88B. Boba Fett's PS8, by the way. IG-88B is PS6. He's got Veteran Instincts to bump him up to PS8, so he's the same pilot skill as Boba. He's got Fire Control System, which lets him get a target lock when he shoots. The Heavy Laser Cannon, which lets him fire 4 dice at range 2 and 3. And it's a secondary weapon, so his opponent won't get a range bonus against it. So that's a pretty hefty gun. Autothrusters, which lets him change a green die from a blank to an evade result at range 3, or if he's out of arc of the opponent. So for example, if Palob's firing with the Twin Laser Turret out of his arc. And he's got the IG 2000 title, which is totally superfluous in this game because there's no other IGs on the board on Jan's side. So Jan's just coming up the left side of the board here, and Tommy's clearly trying to leverage Andrew's ability there by jousting Boba Fett, or lining up for attack positions against Boba Fett. And I guess he's going to come into flank with his other 3 remaining ships there. Oh, this is a pretty standard green dice roll from Boba Fett. Boba Fett, Scum Boba Fett, his pilot ability is that he can re-roll one die per dice roll, so per defense roll or attack roll, for each enemy ship in range 1 of him, which is pretty solid. So the Kirax fighters and Palob are just coming around the debris cloud here, getting ready to flank, I suppose, or to joust with IG. But those big ships are so fast, and they've both got boost, so there's very little chance that the Hawk and the Kirax are going to manage to outmaneuver them. If Yen wants to be flying straight at those 3 ships, he can quite easily pull that off. Big move from Andrew here. Is that a 3 bank? So he's decided he's actually going to stay stressed there and not clear that stress. Who needs actions, right? Andrew has all the rerolls. Well, he's got an extra attack dice. And I suppose he's blocked Boba, which will slow Boba's approach here. Oh, maybe not. No, there you go. So Boba's bumped on Andrew, which prevents him from taking an action, and also means he can't shoot Andrew this round. So we'll have to see where the IG goes. I suspect he'll be turning in here, unless he's going to try and boost right past that asteroid. Oh, there you go. So IG has no shots there. So I guess the consideration is whether or not to boost in to get an attack on that Kirax fighter, probably putting yourself in attack range of the Kirax, and he'll have no other actions. IG-88B is the pilot that allows you to do a gunner-like effect with your secondary weapon. So he can attack with his heavy laser cannon, and if he misses, he can attack with it again. But if he does boost, that will be 2 unmodified shots. Although, he'll acquire target lock with the first attack, so if he misses, he can actually spend that to make a more powerful attack with the second shot. So he did do the boost. He's decided to avoid getting attacked by Andrew. Take a shot at the Kirax there. Here we go. Looks like, looks like he missed, so he's firing again with his pilot ability, and now he's got the target lock from the fire control system. So I couldn't quite see how much damage the Kirax took there, but it looks like he had 2 evades because he spent his focus token and there were 2 symbols. So it was 1 or maybe 2. And now the Kirax returns fire. 1 hit. And IG evades it easily. So we're back to dials. So Palob's actually PS5, which means that Tommy can choose the order in which he moves Palob and the Kirax fighters. Which gives him some flexibility, like here if he wants to move them out of order. If he thinks maybe one of them's going to bump, he can choose which one's going to bump on the other. Which allows him to make sure he gets actions on the one who really needs it. Yeah. There we go, applying the Hawk 290 space brakes. Hard 2 from Andrew. So it looks to me like Jan's got a tough choice here. Actually, no, it doesn't. It looks like he's had all his boosting lanes blocked, so he doesn't actually have the ability to boost. Potentially, he could boost to the left, land right in front of that debris cloud. It's unclear. I don't think he'd fit. But if he stays there, he's definitely going to get double stressed from Palob's Tactician, because he's at range 2 and he's in arc. Oh dear. Looks like Jan's forgotten to take an action on the IG. Or maybe I just missed it. So he's taken out the target lock on Boba Fett there. And he's pushed the limit to take a focus token as well, so he takes his stress. So he's firing with IG at Palob. Baby's hoping he can take Palob off the board at PS8 with his 2 ships before Palob double stresses the IG. 3 hits. And one evade. So he takes 2 damage. The Hawk has 1 shield and 4 hull, I think. So he's got to get another 3 damage through here in order to kill it. Yeah, so I'm afraid it's just not quite enough. Andrew on the IG. Looks like he's gonna fire everything on the IG here, I think. That's his lone wolf reroll. Evades 1 hit and it's evaded. So here comes Palob onto the IG. And here comes the stress from Tactician. That's the Predator reroll there. I guess he focuses up for 3 hits. So IG takes the damage. Now his Autothrusters won't be effective here because he's in arc and at range 2. Yeah, 2 stress from the Tactician there because the twin laser attacks twice. So I don't quite know what happened there because I didn't see. I didn't see the damage cards come out, but it looks like IG's moved first, so perhaps he's taken a damaged cockpit crit, which is the crit that reduces your pilot skill to 0. And he's also on the debris cloud now, so he's done a green maneuver, the 3 bank for the IG's green. He's cleared one of the Tactician stresses, but it's come straight back again, going over the debris field there. There's Andrew finally clearing his stress. He's also come within range 2 of his friends, so for this round he's just a regular PS5 Z95. And he's going to target lock Boba Fett. So Boba Fett's getting into range here. This will allow him to... So the great thing about this Boba Fett build is it's got incredible action economy. You know, he's got push the limit, so he can take 2 actions anyway, the cost of which is that he becomes stressed. But the K4 security droid gives him a target lock for taking a green maneuver. I'm not sure what happened there because that was a 1 forward green maneuver that Boba Fett did, but he seems to still be stressed. Oh, that's from the Glitterstim. He's used his Glitterstim. So I don't know if Jan's forgotten to do actions on Boba Fett again, but he should have had a target lock from doing the green maneuver. And he could have potentially taken... he could have certainly had 1 other action. He could have potentially taken 2 other actions there. But it doesn't look like he did. It looks like he just popped the Glitterstim, which happens at the beginning of the combat phase. So you can make that decision once everyone's maneuvered, and you can sort of review the final position and see if you think you need it. But Boba Fett has managed to kill Palob there. So that's the end of the Hawk. They're surprisingly durable. You know, I think the Hawk's got a very bad rep because it's an incredibly difficult ship to fly, and it's got, you know, a support role in the Rebel side, or it's sort of got this utility role on the Scum side. All the abilities allow you to do sort of nasty things to your opponent to mess up their gameplay, and all the dice for IG. And Autothrusters kicking in there, and so it's sort of it's not it's a ship that you need to have really specific tactics in order to get the most out of it. But those 2 dice and the 5 hit points actually it can sort of soak up a lot of fire as well, and people sort of see it and they want to take it off the board quickly, get it out of the game. But you can spend a lot of rounds shooting at it while its friends pull you apart. IG drifting forward, very slowly clearing all his stress. He's just flying towards the board edge there. Don't know if he's got another green maneuver that he can pull off without going too close to the board edge, because the IG's greens are 1, 2, 3 forward, 1, 2, 3 bank. It doesn't have any green hard turns. Right, so he's pulled his inertial dampeners there on the first Kirax fighter. He's thinking about it for the second. Where's Boba Fett going? So he decides to complete the maneuver. It's a 2 bank. Oh, he didn't bump. So he's clear there. And here comes Andrew, bumping on Boba Fett, still unable to leverage his ability. That's the thing about Lone Wolf and Andrew Suhlak, is its range 2 is huge. It's a really wide margin, so you know you have to work hard to keep out of range. And oh. So Boba Fett does a 2 forward. That's a green maneuver, which means if he wants, he can acquire target lock. He also clears his stress. So he target locks the Kirax fighter and then boosts out of arc there. So that's going to minimize the shots against him and force them to shoot at IG, who is more defensible at that range. But it also means that Boba Fett sacrifices his reroll, and then he pushes the limit for focus token. With the target lock and the focus, he probably wouldn't be getting a huge amount of use out of the reroll. He's got such good action economy anyway. It's probably better to avoid being shot. And there he goes, spending the target lock, but blanks turn into blanks. It happens sometimes. And the Kirax evades. Or maybe he takes 1 hit. It's hard to tell. We can't see the Tommy's cards there. So here's Endra at range 3 on the IG. And IG evades. So is the Kirax attack obstructed here? It looks like it is. Yeah. And the final one, range 2 on Boba Fett. That's it, 2 hits. 1 evade, so he takes damage. There's the hard one from IG. He's got to do that to stay on the board, so he doesn't actually clear his last stress there. So Tommy was able to leverage that Tactician very effectively. And I suppose it doesn't help that IG's pilot skill 0. But really that's only going to impact Jan's decision whether or not to boost, which he hasn't been able to do because he hasn't got any actions. But the issue is that Tommy, none of his ships have maneuvers they can do after the action. There's no boost or barrel roll on the Kirax or the Z95, so he's actually unable to reposition his ships at all. So the PS0 on the IG doesn't really help him. It might help him acquire a target lock or decide whether or not to focus, but that's about it really. And it is true, if IG moves first, he might come into target lock range, whereas if he was moving second, he would be perhaps out of target lock range. But I think the bigger deal is that Jan won't know, or will have less information when deciding whether or not to commit to the boost action, because you want to be able to sort of leverage your out-of-arc maneuvers there. If you're sacrificing the ability to take a token and modify your dice, you want to make sure that you're getting something for it. So the Kirax decide to chase Boba Fett while Andrew goes into solo IG-88B. If he's taken a crit, we know he's got 2 or 3 hull left, possibly 1. So one bad dice roll and IG-88B could be off the board. So that was Boba Fett's shot. It didn't look like it was very effective. Is it range 1? Range 2. So Andrew's pilot. Oh. Is it range 1? No, it is range 2, and he's in range 2 of the range 2 of the Kirax fighter there. So it looks like IG-88's managed to make it out of that one alive as well. Now that looks like 3 blanks for Tommy there. That's just a bit heartbreaking. 3 blanks from the Kirax fighter, I presume. IG-88 hard turning in. Now I sure hope that Tommy's attempted a Courier Grand turn with that Z95. I don't know why I find myself rooting for the plucky scum swarm, but we'll see what happens. I don't think those Kirax are going to have a whole lot of joy hunting Boba Fett, but we'll see what happens. Especially not if IG-88 can get in behind them with the heavy laser cannon. Oh, look at that! He did the K turn. Nice. That's a great move there. He's behind him. It's range 1. He's got his pilot ability and his lone wolf. Looks like he's got a target lock, but I think it's on Boba Fett. Boba Fett doing a hard 3 turn there. So it looks like Boba Fett has lost all of his shields, but but he hasn't actually taken any damage cards yet. Which is okay for Jan, because Boba Fett's got 4 shields and 6 hull, which means that Tommy needs to get a damage card onto Boba Fett for half points. And oh no, that's on IG. That was the Z95 attack there. Looks like he's got some damage through. But IG is still alive. Now he's going to have to be careful here, because with Andrew chasing IG, IG's just a lot faster. He's a big ship and he's got boost. Boba Fett evades everything from the Kirax fighter. Oh, looks like he had 1 shield left. It's gone now. Yeah, here comes IG coming in behind the Kirax to heavy laser cannon. Now see, this is where it would be nice to move after, so you could decide whether or not to do that boost in. But he's going to do it. If he can get out of range 3, or if he can get into range 3 of the Z95, he's got 4 dice on 3 dice, and he's got the Autothrusters, which makes him highly defensible, and it's not really a very good position for the Z95. Oh, 1 forward. Pretty sure the 2 forward. So the Z95, I'm pretty sure the green maneuvers are 1 and 2 forward and 2 banks. So I'm surprised that he did such a slow maneuver. Now he's got a range 3 obstructed shot in the IG, and the chance of any damage going through is, well, extremely unlikely. Boba Fett comes in there with a green turn and pushes the limit for focus on and evade. Oh, and he just decimates the Kirax fighter who has a shot. Another one might have a shot, but it looks unlikely. Looks like it's going to be Andrew versus the world in a minute. Yep, 2 hits. All the evades. Oh, does he have arc? Looks like it. No, he doesn't. So there's the heavy laser cannon. Looks like maybe 1 damage there. It's a choreographed turn from the Kirax fighter there, so he's stressed out he won't have an action. But if Boba Fett wants to clear his stress, he's going to have to do a 1 or a 2 forward or a 1 bank. So we'll see what he decides to do. 1 bank towards the IG might not be terrible because he can leverage that back arc. And there it is. Does it put him on the debris? Yeah, he is on the debris field though, so he maintains his stress. But he still gets his target lock from the K4 security droid. Roll for damage. It's just critical hits you take going over debris, so if he didn't roll a crit, then he wouldn't have taken any damage. Range 2. Looks like a hot roll. Spending the target lock. Oh, more damage cards for Kirax. But he's still on the table. Ender's got no shots. So range 2 back on Boba Fett. This is where he's aiming to squeak in at least 1 damage card for half points on the big ship. Oh, 1 hit. Was that evaded? Looks like that was evaded. Oh, no, there it is. 1 damage card, half points for Boba Fett. So he's got half points for both ships. Not ideal, though. I'm just gonna try to fit in a boost there. Nope, it's on the debris. So I'm guessing IG's down a 1 or 2 hull. Really doesn't want to be killed by Andrew there, so he's taking evasive maneuvers, and he's back in his favorite corner. So here's a 2 forward from the Kirax, clearing his stress, taking a focus, chasing Boba Fett. Boba Fett creeps forward, 1 forward to clear that stress from the debris field earlier. So the 1 forward is green, he can take a target lock automatically. He gets an action on top of that, and then he can push the limit if he desires. We'll see if he plays it as defensively now that he's already given up half points. Yep, he's still playing defensively. The thing about having 2 ships like this, especially an arced ship like the IG-88B, is that you've really got to make sure you make those shots count when you get them, because you're only firing once or twice per turn tops. So you want to make sure that when you are firing, you're putting out a high amount of damage. It's not so hard to do when you've got just 2 big ships, because you can pour points in them to make sure you've got all of the dice modifications and everything like that. So it's just Andrew now, which means he automatically gets to use all of his abilities all of the time, because there's no remaining friendly ships to get into range 2. It's the small silver lining. IG-88 continues to circle this debris field. Oh, big maneuver from Andrew. What he's probably realized is that with his 3 dice attack and Boba's ability to have an evade and a focus every turn, it's unlikely he's going to get any damage through without without getting into range 1. I mean, you know, he might be able to squeak in 1 damage or 2 if he gets really lucky, but there's a 4k turn from the IG. The disadvantage, of course, is that if he gets into range 1 of Boba, Boba gets his pilot ability. Oh, 3k turn there from Andrew. Boba bumps again. No shooting. Back to dials. Yeah, he really wants to finish off that IG. And who can blame him, really? I mean, that's where the most points are. Or rather, well, Fett's got 3 damage cards on him. So that's 3 hull left on Fett. But, IG must have, just 1 or 2 left. IG also shoots last, which means that if Andrew can kill him at PS5, IG won't get a shot. So there's Boba Fett. 2 hits. Lone Wolf. Looks like 1 evade. Or no evades. No evades. So Andrew hangs in with 1 hull remaining. He's got to kill IG here or he's done. So it looks like he's got a target lock on IG. Here we go. Oh, 2 eyes and a blank. He's going to reroll them all. He does it! Oh, it's amazing. Plucky Bandit. Well, Plucky's at 95. Look at that. Two crits on IG. Amazing. So there's the 2 bank to clear his stress. With 1 hull left and Boba Fett chasing him, this is not looking good. So Boba's doing a hard 2 there. He is stressed, which means he'll keep his stress, so no actions for him. But if he's at range 1, he'll have a reroll and 4 dice against 2. Yeah, so it's range 1, so reroll for the pilot ability. 3 hits, that's it. So evades 2, 1 goes through, it's all that he needed. Well done, that was a very close game. Tommy did very well leveraging Palob's Tactician, I thought. Brilliant. Well, I hope you enjoyed that one. And I'll be back on the next video commentating on Game 2. So hopefully I'll see you there.